Hello, and welcome to 1973 GMC Motorhome episode 24. Today we're going to get the motor transmission and differential and put it in the truck and get it home, and then I can relax knowing that I have a spare motor and transmission and differential, and hopefully the differential will have a lower gear ratio than the one I have now, because mine is a 73 and it's got the 3.07, I believe is what it is, and we want like a 353 or ideally a 370. So we'll see, let's get it and we'll get it home and see what it is. So here it is, back at home. We got a engine and transmission and final drive. Looks pretty rusty on the outside, but this thing was actually running. It's where I got my carburetor off of that I'm currently using. It's that junkyard motor, so this is really gonna be nice to have. And again, I'll check and see about the rear. You can't see much of it in here. I've got an extra distributor, so that'll go into the spares pile. Fan clutch, lots of good stuff on this not so great looking motor. And there's this guy, right? You're a good boy. So, and then we also have up on there a nice hornet's nest. And there's the old motorhome. We're up in the air. The latest round of stuff. All right, Finny, ready to go inside? All right, let's go inside. My business partner and I have a old Carver. It's a Carver Mariner 3697, and it's got two Mercruiser 454s, and I replaced one of the impellers, and we were still getting an overheating problem. And so we were looking in one of the hoses going to the V drive, thinking that's the first place that the water comes in. Maybe there was some crap in there, and there wasn't. So we put it back in there, but we forgot to turn the seacock back on when we were done with that. So basically we burned up a brand new impeller. So I will take this opportunity to make a video for people who want to replace the impeller on their Carver 3697s. Okay, here we are early in the morning. We're just removing these drains. We're going to take this platform off of here. The first thing we're going to do is we're taking off some of our extraneous things. We're going to get this out of the way so we can get to the pump, which is way underneath in there. Okay, I got all my screws out. Everything's disconnected from under there. Now I got to see if I got somebody coming to give me a hand, because this shit is heavy, but I'm going to see if I can't pick it up and see what happens. Otherwise I'll just wait and relax. All right, wasn't actually as bad as I thought, but I got it up there and I've got access to everything. So now we will start dismantling. Okay, first I've removed that. The tricky part of this whole job is getting this bolt out. And last time I did it, I slid this whole thing off. I had to drain everything, but I think I can just pull this back and keep the water in there. So that's what we're gonna try and do. I'm taking this bolt out first. That's the adjuster bolt. That's just so you can orient yourself. Okay, now I've slid that hose back just enough to clear that bolt. I had a drop of water come out of there, but We don't want to drain all our antifreeze. So here's the culprit. We didn't leave. We had this closed last time. We were replacing this hose right here. Anyway, so now it's open, but now we're going to close it again. I almost pulled off the pump with it open. So we got to remember to close that. And that will keep water from spraying all over the place when I pull this thing off. Okay, now we got our pump out, and we're going to see what the impeller looks like. And in fact, yes, you can see this impeller is wasted. And this is from running at about 10 minutes before I realized, hey, this isn't cooling, and then I discovered the seacock was off. So we got our new one, we're gonna put it in and put it back together, and that's gonna be that. All right, so in a big pain in the butt, underneath the motor, there's the oil filter, and there is no chunks in the oil cooler, rather, which was a giant pain in the ass to get out of there, but there it is. Well, anyway, I got that done, but I completely stopped filming because it was becoming a pain in the butt. But anyway, it's back in there and it's fine. Works great now. So now what I'm doing, though, is I'm taking this bowl and drilling a bunch of holes in it because we have a problem. See that guy right there? And then that one, whoa! There's a bird's nest on the front of that anchor. I'm gonna screw this bowl to that. Oh, they're dive bombing me. I'm gonna drill holes in this bowl, screw this bowl onto the piling, and then get some gloves, put the nest and the baby bird into the piling where that guy's standing. At least that's the idea. Otherwise we'll have a baby bird flying off of there, and that'll be the end of that. So he'll stand a better chance on this, I think. So there's the mom sitting there now. There's the nest right there. There's mama. So, and she's heard that baby bird, so hopefully she'll go back over to it. We're gonna leave now. This is this old Carver 87. Anyway, that's ready for fun again. But we're gonna not go out. And it seems like the bird is swooping down to my head when I go over to its nest over there, so check it tomorrow and see. Make sure that we're good, but there's a nest over there. Just went over there and got swooped, so that's a good sign. Okay, bye bird and boat. So today was very hot, and now I'm back at the camper. I'm working on my wiring nest, and I've got my AC on in here, and it's very, very pleasant. And I'm all clean and dry and cool. And this is like a treat to work on this because I can just sort through wire and remove them. I know it looks like a mess, but I've pulled out multiple wires. There's a good old camper. There's my AC. I pulled out multiple wires that are doing nothing, going to nowhere. Got my radio out. I'm going to be working on that. This is the horn button. This is going, was just a big fat hot for something. I'm going to take this out of here because I don't need this for anything. This is also going through the firewall, so I'm going to eliminate those. This is a ground from the side of the voltmeter, which is then attached to another wire, which is then going to there. So I'm just going to put an end on this and make this a ground. Here is the ground for the lights and the gauges, so we'll be using that, and this is the hot, so we'll be using that for the lights. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing, and it's After everything I've done recently, it's a giant mess in here, but we're on nice soft carpet, and it's just very relaxing. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep cleaning this up. Okay, after spending lots of time messing with this radio here, what I've determined is I can turn it on. Now, nothing's happening, right? Right. So I disconnect this, and I reconnect it. Like I can do it in the front. If I do it in the front, that thing starts to flicker. See? And the reason for that is that there's 4 wires in here, and each of them goes to the positive on the speaker, and each one of these factory speakers shares a common ground, which is the same ground in the entire vehicle. So this is not going to work because these stereos aren't designed to work like that. So I'm going to have to put a separate set of speakers in the front there. So I've gotten to the bottom of this. I'm going to quit while I'm ahead here and work on this dash and the gauges and leave that open. Okay, I realize it still looks like a rat's nest under there, but I'm going to check my new electric oil pressure gauge and my voltmeter and my tachometer, which you can't really see very well, but it's there. The electric choke, that's hooked up too. I guess I can watch and see if that does anything, but let me start it up and see how these things work first. Well, that kind of kicks ass. We got our tach's working, our oil pressure's working, and our voltmeter's working, so that's pretty cool. Now I'm going to stop because it's Sunday, so that's great. That oil pressure, this whole thing started because that oil pressure gauge was leaking oil and I wanted to put an electric one in there, so now that's done. So that's fantastic. And this oil pressure gauge works as well, but this one's really easy to just glance down and see. It's almost easier. So okay, and I like having tach. Alright, mission accomplished there. Well, here we are taking another motorhome break going boating. It's probably very windy, so you probably can't hear my voice. We're going to catch that big old ship up there. That's Fort McHenry. Anyway, that's what we're doing today. Tugboat. Okay, so here's where we're at. We have almost got our dash put back together, but we are waiting for a cable, which I want to go get from the junkyard because they're 69 bucks otherwise. Yes, it's a big mess in here. Here's my radio switch. Boink. There's the radio. There you go. Tuner. And there's that. We got a speaker there we put in, and a speaker there. Oh, look, office. That's off. And I put it on a switch just so we can have it on without having the ignition on, because when the ignition is on, that's heating up our choke. So I want to put my newer AC defrost control in here, but the cable that goes from the bottom, which is in my van, has got a tab busted off it, and I may order a brand new one, but they're 69 bucks. So there's a change of plan today. We are going to start painting the motorhome. There's $1,000 of paint in there, paint and everything else that's needed for it. So okay, so we're doing the bag and shoot method here. This side was the bad side, so I've primed that and everything looks pretty good. I obviously need to hit that primer, but we've got this little line that I'll get rid of and a couple spots here. I mean, once you shoot it with primer, I can see there's still a couple spots. So I'll take care of that, and right there and there. Get these down. We're gonna make a 20-footer here. So that's what's happening with that. Okay, there's my one-day bag and shoot, the top half. And the reason why this is coming over here is because when I paint the bottom white, I'll use this line here and then go down from that line. So that's what's happening there now. I don't know what I was doing. This side I got straight, but for some reason on this side, the only place I got runs is here and here, and then there's some, but this side is going up. So I imagine I'll have to redo that. So we're drying now, and then this side I shot maybe a little drier than the other side, so I'll probably do some wet sanding and buffing. I don't know. So, you know, compared to what it looked like before, that looks better. Now, I spent literally $1,000 on a gallon of paint, a gallon of reducer, a quart of activator, and then I got some fisheye reducer. I still got half a gallon left. So in hindsight, I should have gotten a pint and then a pint of white. So if anybody wants to know, that's what it takes. But anyway, so this stuff will lay out over the next few hours and smooth out. A lot of those, that dryness will actually go away. And then if it really bugs me, I can just wet sand areas of it, which I've done before. I hit it with 800, and then I hit it with 15, and then I hit it with 2, and then I buff it, and it comes out like glass. This is a single stage urethane. And I just basically DA'd the whole thing. That area there was the worst area. That had, you know, all the paint peeling and stuff like that. So I did shoot that with primer beforehand. So right now, I had my friends come by and I paid them $500, and we all DA'd all morning and masked. So I got 1,500 in this so far. The bottom I will do myself. I do not need to buy reducer or activator. So that means that I'll spend about another maybe 150 on the white paint and my own personal labor, which will mean for under 2 grand, I'll have a, you know, I'll have a 20-footer or even a 10-footer. Let's get, here's 10 feet. I think it's a 10-footer. So, you know what, I'm happy with that. That's, you know, we're not, obviously we're not doing a concourse restoration, we're just getting it better little by little. So there we go. So I looked in my paint can, the gallon paint can, which I didn't even use half of. So a half gallon would have been fine for the top of this. I put 2 coats on the left side, and on the other side, excuse me, the left side that was the better side, I really just put 1 wet coat on, and we'll see if that lays out as good as the other side does, which it should. I mean, I still have a ton of paint left, but I think if you did really good prep work and you had a similar color base, if you just did, I don't know. I mean, I didn't even use a quarter of it. So I think with a pint you'd be fine. I think you can get 2 coats all the way around the thing. So that's going to conclude this episode. The next episode will probably start with the painting of the bottom. And I know you're not seeing a lot, but yeah, well, I used one of these, or several of these, to get off the pinstriping. That's a little rubber eraser. So that's what I used to get off the pinstriping. I used 220 grit sandpaper for some of the rough areas, and I went over everything with 320, and this is stick on. And we did hand sanding, and we also used the DA here. So that's how we sanded it. You know, you just take your DA and you go over the whole thing with 320. That's what this side was mostly. And then I use my trusty old Sharp SGF paint gun. It's being cleaned. Well, it's clean now, so that comes out clear. You know, clean the inside, and you put your tip in there. And I know some of you must be horrified by this garage, and I am too. So at some point, when I get done with this motorhome, or at least have a chance when I can take a break from it, I'll get a bunch of people over here and we'll have a garage cleaning party, because it's bad. It was nice and clean before this motorhome, and it just got destroyed. GMC manifold, GMC air cleaner, extra GMC air cleaner, GMC air tank, GMC bumpers that are spares, GMC exhaust header pipes. There's a manifold in there too. And then what other GMC parts do we have around here? Old airbags, just random GMC stuff. And then we have, there's GMC stuff up there. And then way up there we got windows and some other stuff. So anyway, that's it. See you next time.